Listen up. This ain't a motivational fairy tale. This ain't about feeling good. This is about waking up from the coma you've been living in. Life doesn't owe you a damn thing. And deep down, you know it. That's the truth most people choke on. They spend their lives running from it, masking it with comfort, distraction, and soft lies. But you're here because you're tired of running. It's time to man up. That doesn't mean puffing your chest or acting tough. It means owning everything, every failure, every misrep, every excuse you whispered to yourself at 4 a.m. when the alarm went off and you hit snooze instead of stepping into war. You've been negotiating with weakness for too long. And guess what? Weakness is winning until now. You want to know why your life hasn't changed? Because you haven't. You keep talking about discipline, goals, greatness, but when it's cold, when it's dark, when no one's watching, you fold. You quit, you scroll, you hide. But that ends today. You're not a victim. You're not broken. You're just undisciplined. And the cure? Pain, pressure, truth. You've got to stop searching for shortcuts. There are none. It's reps, suffering, and relentless consistency. It's doing this to you hate like your life depends on it. Because it does. This isn't about talent. It's about grit. The grind doesn't care how you feel. The standard doesn't adjust to your mood. You either rise or rot. That's the law. You want to win? Then start by accepting one fact. No one's coming. No one's going to carry you to the finish line. You carry your damn self, drag your broken legs, stitch your bleeding soul, and keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Cry if you have to. Scream if you must. But don't stop. Don't ever stop. It's time to flip the switch. It's time to dominate the voice in your head telling you a maybe tomorrow. There's no tomorrow. There's only now. You either rise or you die with regret. You either man up or stay soft and invisible. The choice is yours. Every single excuse you've ever told yourself, own it. Don't dance around it. Don't pretty it up with fancy words. Face it. You didn't lose because life was unfair. You didn't quit because you were tired. You quit because it was easier to lie than to push. You said you were burned out, but really you were just soft. You said you were too busy, but truth is you wasted hours hiding behind your phone and distractions. You built a wall of reasons to justify mediocrity, and it's time to tear it down with bare hands and brutal honesty. The truth, excuses are comfort blankets for people afraid to suffer. They're the shield weak minds use to avoid the battlefield. And every time you make one, every single time you rob yourself of growth, you rob yourself of greatness. You become your own thief. People love to say, I had no choice. Bullshit, you had a choice. You just didn't like what the hard road demanded. So you picked the easy one and called it survival. But that road doesn't lead anywhere but regret. And deep down, you already know that. Let's be real. No one's going to slap the excuses out of your mouth for you. You've got to do that. You've got to look in the mirror and say, I was lazy. I was lazy. I was scared. I was weak. Not because you want to beat yourself up, but because nothing changes until you admit you've been lying. Own that you didn't train because it was cold. Own that you didn't show up because failure scared you. Own that you took shortcuts because you didn't want to bleed. You can't transform without truth, and truth starts with brutal self-accountability. You want to build a stronger version of yourself? Start by cataloging every excuse you've used in the past week, the ones you whispered to yourself when no one could hear. The ones you used to justify skipping the workout, sleeping in, eating garbage, avoiding responsibility. Write them all down. Now light them on fire, figuratively or literally. Burn the lies. Burn the softness. Because every excuse you keep is a leash around your neck. And you'll never run free if you're chained to comfort. You need to stop seeing your excuses as a reasons. They're not. They're anchors. They're traps you designed to feel safe while doing nothing. They make you feel better in the short term, but bury you long term. And the worst part, you know they're bullshit, yet you still repeat them like a broken record. That's self-betrayal. You're not fooling anyone but yourself. And guess what? That game ends now. You can either keep feeding your excuses, or you can start feeding the fire that'll change your life. No one is perfect. We all fall. But the ones who rise, they're the ones who stop making excuses and start making demands of themselves. That's the shift. From a why me to a try me to a try me. From I can't to I will. From it's not my fault to it's all on me. Every excuse you've made up to this point has been a weight strapped to your potential. It's time to rip that weight off and carry only what makes you stronger. Truth, pain, and the discipline to own your damn life. Hey, everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to be stronger, smarter, faster, harder to kill. But the second pain knocks on the door, they back off. The moment things get uncomfortable, they tap out. That's where the line is drawn between the ones who evolve and the ones who evolve and the ones who stay soft. Growth demands pain, not just any pain, but the kind that burns through your comfort zone and exposes the raw truth underneath. If you're not willing to suffer, then stop talking about change. Stop saying you want more out of life if you're not willing to bleed for it. See, discomfort isn't optional. It's the toll. It's the rent you pay to cross the bridge from weakness to strength. You want confidence? Earn it by doing what scares the hell out of you. You want resilience? Get it by walking headfirst into resistance. You don't grow sitting on the couch. You don't get better hitting snooze. You grow when you wake up at 4 a.m. with no one watching and still put in the work. When your muscles scream, your lungs burn, and your mind begs for relief. But you don't give in. You push harder. That's where growth begins. Who? You can't have both. Comfort and greatness. Choose, because one makes you feel good temporarily. The other makes you unstoppable. Discomfort is the forge. It's where weak people break and warriors are built. Owns. You've got to put yourself in the fire daily. Not once in a while, not when you feel like it. Every day you train your mind through struggle. You train your body through stress. And most importantly, you train your spirit through suffering. If you're not hurting, you're not growing. You're not growing, period. The problem is most people want to grow without paying the price. They want the muscles without the heavy lifting. They want mental toughness without the breakdowns. They want success without the sacrifices. It doesn't work like that. If you truly want to level up, then stop avoiding the pain and start chasing it. Wake up and seek the cold, seek the chaos. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations until they become your normal. Ooh. Make discomfort your best friend, because that's where you'll find the version of yourself you've never met before. Growth doesn't come with applause. It comes in silence, in solitude, when you're face to face with pain and you keep going anyway. When your legs are shot, your heart's pounding, and your inner voice is begging you to quit, but you keep moving. That's where your edge is. That's where the growth lives. It's not on the surface. It's buried under layers of sweat, fear, doubt, and fatigue. You want to dig it out? Then you better bring a shovel and a warrior's mindset. You better be ready to bleed. So next time discomfort shows up, don't run. Invite it in. Let it sharpen you. Let it strip away the lies and excuses. Let it show you who you really are when everything gets hard. That's where you grow, not when it's easy, but when it's hell. Discomfort is the currency of greatness. And if you're not paying in full, you'll never cash in on your true potential. Your greatest enemy isn't outside, it's between your ears. Your mind is the battlefield, and most people are losing badly. That voice that says you're tired, you've done enough, take it easy today, that's the enemy, and it's been winning for years. It's not there to push you, it's there to protect you, but growth doesn't live in protection, it lives in pain. You weren't born weak, you were programmed to avoid discomfort. That voice in your head was trained by society, comfort, and mediocrity, and until you rewire it, it'll keep running your life and running it straight into regret. The mind is a master manipulator. It'll lie to you in your weakest moments. It'll whisper soft things when you need war. It'll tell you to rest when you need to rise. And the worst part, you believe it. You obey it. You obey it. You let it call the shots. That's why you keep quitting, keep starting over, keep living in the same cycle of almost making it, because you haven't taken control. You haven't trained that voice. You're still reacting like a civilian when you should be acting like a damn warrior. Training your mind isn't a one-day job. It's a daily fight. You got to break it, mold it, rewire it with pain, repetition, and raw discipline. You don't negotiate with the mind. You dominate it. You teach it who's in charge. That means doing the opposite of what it tells you. If it says stop, go, go. If it says slow down, speed up. Every time you override that inner bitch voice, you reclaim territory. You earn strength. You build calluses on your soul. But let me be clear, it's going to push back hard. The moment you try to take control, it'll throw everything at you. Doubt, fear, anxiety, shame. It knows your triggers. It knows your weaknesses. It's been feeding them for years. So you've got to be stronger, louder, more ruthless. You've got to become the voice that drowns it out. The commander, not the captive. You need to talk to yourself, not just listen. You need to say, get up, keep going, we're not done yet, even when you're bleeding inside. You build a warrior mind the same way you build muscle, with resistance, through suffering, through deliberate exposure to discomfort. You train it when you run on empty. when you study while exhausted. Look, when you show up when you're not in the mood, you build it when you stand in the storm and say, I'm not moving. It's in those reps, the ones that hurt, that the mental armor forms. And once it does, that mind becomes your weapon, your shield, your edge, your edge. Your edge. When your mind is trained, the world becomes irrelevant. Pain, you've rehearsed that. Fear, you've confronted worse. Chaos, you've lived in it by choice. A trained mind doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, doesn't need a cheerleader. It's self-driven, self-fed, self-forged. You want to be unbeatable? Then you better stop waiting for motivation and start going to war with your own thoughts. Because that voice in your head is either your executioner or your general. You decide which one shows up tomorrow. Stop acting like discipline is some magical trait certain people are born with. That's a lie. That's the excuse you tell yourself to feel better about your own lack of effort. Discipline isn't a gift. It's a decision. It's not in your DNA. It's in your damn choices. You either build it or you don't. You either wake up and do the work or you lie to yourself and say, I'll start tomorrow. There's no middle ground. Discipline isn't sexy. It's not about motivation. It's about showing up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. People treat discipline like a mood. People treat discipline like it's something that needs to be felt before it kicks in. Wrong. Discipline is forged in discomfort. It shows up when you don't want to get out of bed, when your legs hurt, when your heart is shattered, and life's kicking your teeth in. That's when real discipline answers a call. Not when the sun's shining and the road is easy. If you only act disciplined when things are smooth, then you're just another part-time warrior. And part-time warriors get full-time regret. The truth is, you've been choosing weakness every single day and calling it something else, Evan. You've been hitting snooze, skipping the hard reps, half-assing your grind, and then blaming it on the stress or air burnout. But the truth, you chose not to suffer. You chose not to sacrifice. You chose comfort, and discipline doesn't live in comfort. You march toward it in pain, in silence, with your head down and your soul on fire. You want to know how disciplined people stay consistent. They don't negotiate with their emotions. They don't care how they feel. They just do, because the decision was made long before the pain showed up. So the workout isn't a question, it's a command. The run isn't optional, it's the standard. When the alarm goes off, they don't ask it, do I feel like it? They say, this is who I am now. That's discipline. It's identity built on execution. Command. It's doing the T you hate like your life depends on it. Because it does. Discipline starts with one moment. The moment you stop looking for motivation and start demanding action. It starts when you realize that no one's coming to push you. No one's coming to inspire you. No one's coming to make you do the reps. It's all on you. And once you accept that, you take the power back. You stop waiting. You stop stalling. You start choosing the pain that builds, not the comfort that destroys. Discipline is about choosing the hard road every damn day and never backing off. So if you're sitting there thinking, I wish I had discipline, understand this. You do. You've just been choosing not to use it. You've been choosing comfort over commitment, laziness over legacy. That ends now. Ends. From this point forward, discipline is no longer some mythical trait you admire in others. It's a brutal, relentless choice you make every single day, no matter what. Let's rip the bandage off right now. You are not broken. You've just been soft. You've convinced yourself that something is wrong with you, but that's just the story you tell to avoid responsibility. You're not some shattered soul who needs years to heal before you take action. You don't need another self-help book or another break to get your mind right. What you need is discipline. What you need is to stop babying your potential and start stepping into the fire. Because the only thing holding you back isn't trauma. It's the lies you've been telling yourself to stay average. You haven't earned the right to say you're maxed out when you're still skipping the hard stuff you haven't put in the reps. And that's why you feel stuck. Discipline is the medicine you refuse to take. It's the cure you keep ignoring. You want clarity? Train every day. You want confidence? Train every day. You want confidence. You can cry about it, post about it, distract yourself with garbage, or you can stand up, clench your teeth, and fight like your life depends on it, because it does.